That packing the stadium Gelora Bung Karno. What a moment this is. Their first quarterfinal appearance, all thanks to their coach Indra Sharif. First quarterfinal appearance since 1978. And these fans are here to save it at all. They have hosted this competition on 3 occasions now. Previous 2, they didn't even get out of the group stages. They have gone one better already in 2018. So these players, the class of 2018, will forever be remembered because they did it in front of their home supporters. They looked very nervous last week when they played against Qatar, soaking in the atmosphere. The loud noise just got to the players, going 3-1 down and then 6-1 down before staging a last gasp effort and a comeback we thought would have been very improbable. Just fell short though in the end, but those players learned. I've never seen a team before concede 6 in one game and then 4 days later keep a clean sheet against the group favorites. They are fast learners, the young Garudas. They took it all in their stride, got to know each other better, and got to know the fans, more importantly, used the support. There is a handful of Japanese supporters who have been cheering them on at the Patriot Stadium where they play their group stages. But this is a whole different experience altogether. Even with these Japanese players, most of them are getting games in the J-League where they do play in front of big crowds and big audiences. Players are out. National anthems on standby. Japan to your left, Indonesia to your right. Nothing like being at the Bung Karno Stadium and listening to the Indonesian anthem being belted out by fans and spectators. Some of the best fans in the world. It's only an under-19 match, believe it or not, and yet it is fully packed. Quarterfinals between Indonesia and hot favorites Japan, who have strolled through all their opponents but haven't come up with a frosty atmosphere that they're facing tonight. And those Japanese players, well, they actually rested their regulars in a match against Iraq in their final group game, and still the reserves came out to win that one by 5 goals to 0. 3 of those players keep their places in the starting 11, including Kobayashi, the number 3, Kanya Fujimoto, and Takefusa Kubo, the number 9. Well, from the bench, of course, you got the likes of Yuta Goke. In fact, only the goalkeeper, the third choice goalkeeper, hasn't played minutes in this tournament yet, and you can pluck any name from that bench and he or her will make a difference in this game. That is the strength and depth that you'll get from this Japanese side. The Indonesians have had a roller coaster ride of this tournament throughout. As we have a look at the referees tonight, Bonyafiard of Iran, the main man in the middle, and alongside him will be his compatriot Ali Mirzabegi and Gabriel Law of Hong Kong. Captains meet, and the captain for Indonesia tonight is Indra Mustafa's defensive partner, and that is Rahmat Irianto. All because the captain, the Indonesian team captain Nur Hidayat, is missing out in this game after being red carded in that match against the United Arab Emirates. The Indonesians make that one change and another one, and that is probably the more important one, because Egy Maulana, who limped off clutching his hamstring against UAE in that last match, is not fit enough to start this game. In his place comes Kadek Raditya, playing his very first game of this tournament. What a baptism of fire he is. But Egy Maulana is on the substitutes bench. There you see the number 10, their star player, their star boy. No wild horses can hold him back from catching that glory moment right here. Kageyama Masanaga is the coach of Japan, and the coach of Indonesia is Indra Shafri. And if you allowed these two coaches just to pin one word on the wall in the dressing rooms before the start of this match, Indra Shafri would probably put the word believe, and Kageyama Masanaga would probably put the word complacency. Those two words, those two feelings just tell a full story of the match that we're about to witness. Totally tilted in the favor of the Japanese. The Indonesians come into this game as massive, massive underdogs. But if they use the atmosphere, if they use the roars, funnier things have happened in the game of football. You never know in this beautiful game. Played on a day where it's observed in Indonesia's Youth Pledge Day. Some 80 years ago today, some youths got together to sign a treaty to talk one language for one country, and that country is Indonesia. As they storm forward straight away with Witan, ball's deflected out all the way back to the goalkeeper, decides not to use his hands. As I said, those Youth Pledge Day moments, so very apt that on this day, 80 years later, it's the youth playing the football and the whole country in one voice behind these 11 boys who are on the pitch wearing the colors of Indonesia. The Japanese are slow burners, take their time to settle in this game. Ito with an early touch prevents it from taking that shot after some very good defending by Sadil. He does go through a lot of the ground and usually is replaced midway through matches because of the fact that he burns out all the energy. And that'll be the first free kick as Daiki Hashioka takes the challenge coming in from Hannes Sagara Putra, who started the last match against UAE and lasted only one half before he was replaced by Rivaldo. Well, it's not just the fans that the Japanese have to deal with, but they were so used to the Patriot pitch, and despite the fact that this is the home of Indonesian football, it has to be said that the Patriot pitch has held up much better in this competition than the Stadium Gelora Bung Karno, which is pretty cut up. Too much football, too many competitions being staged here in 2018. Early touch, that one was for Miyashiro, who is a Japanese top scorer. This man is very classy on the ball. Ito, clever first touch to Kubo. Straight away already the Japanese moving in one unison as Abe goes outside to find Higashi. The crowd not too happy with it, letting the feelings known, making sure that it's frosty for the Japanese. As Abe storms forward, met by a crunching challenge that's coming in straight away by Irianto. Actually, it was Indra Mustafa taking the place, of course, of Nur Hidayat in this game. Just comes sliding right across. As I said, it looked all lost at sea and so nervous in the opening minutes against Qatar, conceding 6 goals and then a clean sheet in the next game against the UAE. Here is Kubo Such a talented player he is, Takefusa Kubo. Time though crowded out by a couple of Indonesians and no one up front because everyone's come back to help out, ensure that they keep it tight at the back and very compact in the opening minutes against the Japanese. They can't come at you all of a sudden. The pros pressure cooker style of football is swarming at you at any given minute. As I said, they're usually slow burners, take their time to get into the match, but once they find their rhythm, there's almost no stopping them. A metronome which ticks forever. And in full flow, they are a huge delight to watch. Kubo, touchdown to Fujimoto. Here is Hashioka. On searching ball inside the box, looking for a player in there. Abe was always wide, and they don't have the biggest players as central strikers, but it is the clever movement of the ball that usually flummoxes the other side. That's what they've been using against the likes of North Korea, Thailand and Iraq. It's a good start from the Indonesians. They've quelled the Japanese in the early moments and played some good football themselves as Lutfi gets control of the ball. Chased down straight away. Oh, great footwork by Lutfi Kamal. Not the best of passes though, but he'll remember that. The day he danced past a couple of Japanese challengers. Witan certainly caught the eye, and that's the star boy for Indonesia, Egy Maulana. Plays his football in Poland. One of the best players at the competition with his close ball control and his impeccable vision. Here is Saito. The outside is Higashi, back to Saito. He's only played one game in this competition. As I said, the Japanese have used all their players except for their third choice goalkeeper. So everyone's had minutes and experience already in this competition. Fujimoto, happy to go all the way back to Sugawara. Space opening up for Kubo, playing as a second striker, always dropping deep. A Masia graduate, of course, Kubo. Gaining the throw, and whenever he goes, wherever he storms into, there will be at least 2 or 3 bodies besides this prodigious talent, Takefusa Kubo. He's already got 1 goal in this competition, and what a goal it was as well, direct from the free kick. It's a kick out then, which incurred the wrath of Miyashiro. Didn't really appreciate the fact that Firza Ndika slashed at him and swiped at him while he tried to dribble the ball naughtily into the corner. Rahmati Rianto, real up and under, hoping that Witan does something with it. Failed to do anything with it at all. The Japanese come right back again. Fujimoto, still Fujimoto. Kubo, almost managing to wriggle clear of those challenges and stealing in, pinching the ball to Fujimoto. Good tackle in the end. The Indonesians come away with it. Haven't seen much of the fluent football that the Japanese are famed for. Here is Ito. Got that quite spectacular goal from long range against North Korea. Saito. Kubo. You know he can strike them from here. Decides to play the ball inside, but yet again crowded out by a sea of red. So the Indonesians have been very organized and compact in the opening 5 minutes of this match, trying to just spring up and build an attack of their own with some promise. The Japanese have just been gaining throw-ins down this right-hand side. Mitsuki Saito, the Shonan Bellmare player who is captain for the side. Sugawara, he is one of 5 players in the starting 11 who actually played at the Under-17 World Cup last year. Here's Sugawara, inside for another one of them, Miyashiro. Clever ball by Kubo, inside to Miyashiro. Almost finding the number 20, who is the top scorer for Japan in this tournament. Here is Kubo yet again. So nippy, so quick. Crowded out of it, and the Japanese somehow have players in the box waiting to pounce on any given opportunity, but the Indonesians have come away with it. Firza Ndika, great ball played outside to Hannes. The break is on now. What can they do with it? Good balls needed, and that's not a bad pass. Played outside to Kadek. It's actually Sadil. Still Sadil. Another one of those players that has a lot of trickery in him. Witan. 3 goals in this competition already for Witan. Ball easily picked up by Japan. Taken away and a chance to start this counter-attack now. Sugawara. Still no one picking him up, but Kubo's trying to time his run right to beat the offside trap. But everyone was always all the way back for the Japanese. That there wasn't anyone bombing forward to help out Sugawara. almost on a long voyage into the Indonesian half then. Played 7.5 minutes already in this first half. So far so tight for the Indonesians. Japanese beginning to build some rhythm of their own and put some passes together. As I said, they have to get used to this pitch as well, as Hashioka came in with that lunging challenge. Now, these two sides have faced each other before in this competition, but it was way back. The Indonesians lost to the Japanese in 1960 by 3-2 in a match which saw Japan clinch third place in that tournament. And then the Indonesians beat the Japanese in 1961 by 2-1 en route to winning this tournament for the one and only time. Who knows, the omen might be there as Firza breaks clear. Great work by Firza. He's got some room now to maneuver. Firza inside the box to Witan, trying to look for the angle for the shot. It does come in from Firza. But the Japanese somehow survive. And perhaps the Indonesian players too close to one another to really affect the goalkeeper. As I said, the Japanese have looked to have a very soft centre in this tournament. And the defence can be had. Well, they got then. Miyashiro, that late challenge coming in on him by combination of Lutfi and Sadil. And that certainly has raised hopes at the GBK. They'll have to get used to it. They were used to it. The likes of Kubo and friends will have more of the ball, just as UAE did against them, especially when they went down to 10 men. They need to make full use of whatever advantage they have springing on the counter-attack. Here is Kubo. Miyashiro easily cleared away. Lutfi Kamal actually showing a lot more moxie than the Japanese to get to the ball. Witan though dribbles himself into a dangerous area, and that'll be a free kick for the Japanese. Are they going for a shot at goal here? They have a couple of players in the team, Hiroki Ito, Takefusa Kubo, who certainly have the quality and the ability to strike it even from this long range. And the Qataris in the opening minutes of the match against Indonesia actually tested the goalkeeper Mohad Riyandi, who looked to be a very nervous soul that night, so maybe Kubo might want to test him in the early minutes. There are the central defenders Hashioka and Kobayashi in the box. There they are, 3 and 5 and 4 as well. Sugawara right there. Riyandi needs to be a lot more assured than he was against Qatar. He played well against the UAE. Last thing they want is for the Japanese to actually take the lead, because the moment they're ahead and the moment they inch ahead, they're almost unplayable. Ito, the big central midfielder, there as well, creating all sorts of havoc with his movement. And that's a very clever ball played inside. Is that the opening goal? No, the referee has blown because the linesman's flag had gone up. Hashioka thought he'd scored the opening goal. That was a very close call. It was a very clever free kick, and he just moved slightly ahead. The thing is, feet's planted on the ground, will level on line. It's just his body. It was slightly ahead of the last man. Daiki Hashioka, almost a dream start for Japan. Well, he plays as the right fullback for his club side, Urawa Reds. Hashioka, here he is on the ball. They actually had their star player Sakine transferred to Europe, needed to find a replacement, and in he came this year, and he started every game since April. So imagine you're starting games for your club side, and this is almost nothing for Hashioka. Strong challenge, a very good one from Asnawi, who then takes the tackle and wins the free kick from Hiroki Abe. Another one of those players who's had a breakout season this year, Hiroki Abe, playing for Kashima Antlers. 5 goals he scored this season already, including 1 in the Asian Champions League. His side will be playing in the final of the Asian Champions League next Saturday. And if they continue through in this tournament. He will miss that first leg in front of his home fans. It's the only downside. Kubo, so hard to shake off the ball whenever he's got possession and has that ball between you and him. Saito, side by side. There's Fujimoto, goes instead to Miyashiro. He didn't really start this tournament as first choice striker. After his 2-goal salvo against Thailand, coach has decided that he is the player in form, so why not start him? That's a clever ball eviscerating the defense. And there's space opening up now for Sugawara. Not the best of crosses, and the Indonesians stay tight. Witan. Anis. These are precious few moments for Indonesia. Gaining possession of the ball. They'll have to take full advantage of it, and they need to protect it a lot better than they did then. Combination of Hannes and Witan, given the responsibility of leading the line tonight at number 19. Scored 3 goals in the AFF Suzuki Cup, and this is not good news. Kanya Fujimoto plays his football for Tokyo Verdy, and J-League 2 has gone down with a knee injury, and I think that he was clutching his head the moment he released that pass onto Sugawara to try to plant a cross inside. Indra Shafri. Well, these two sides met in a friendly earlier this year, and Japan came off winners by 4 goals to 1 that night on this ground. Player left in tears. You hate to see that, so it must be a horrific injury. There's no one around him. He went down clutching his knee, and that's the worst part. If there was a knock, if there was a challenge, probably he could sense that there'd be some discomfort for that, and straight away he signaled to the bench that his game is done. He took so long to make his debut. He was a substitute in the first 2 matches, and then the coach gave him the justification of faith, placed it on him as he made his debut finally against Iraq. Played well enough to keep his place in the side against Indonesia, and he's only lasted 15 minutes of this quarterfinals. And Koki Saito will take his place. Here is another prodigiously talented player, Koki Saito. Still only 17 years of age. He usually plays down the left-hand side. Let's see if there's going to be a little bit of a switch between him and Hiroki Abe. Saito's already got 3 in this tournament. Not a bad player to call from the bench. As I said, look at the Japanese bench. You can almost pluck any name there to come onto the pitch, and somehow they'll affect the game. Sugawara, Miyashiro, Sugawara, ball's broken clear ever so kindly until that challenge came right in. It's kept alive. Sugawara, only one to hit inside the penalty box, and he almost found the head of it. Hiroki Abe is springing to life and diving for glory. Always going to be so very difficult, not just to spear that ball into the back of the net, but also to put it on target. Almost slightly behind you, and you had to just leap ahead of the defender who was favored to get to the ball. So the first real chance in this game, which has seen Japan boss proceedings. That is expected. They haven't, though, got the opening goal yet. Mitsuki Saito. Koki Saito receiving the ball back from his namesake. Kubo tried to get it continued. That continuity slightly lost after a straight pass. Uncharacteristic one from Takefusa Kubo. Could be a throw to Firza. The way the Japanese have concentrated their attacks down this right-hand side, you know it's going to be a very busy day for the Indonesian left back. Koki Saito. Too many players was swarming him off the ball. And yet again, when they break out, it needed to be a perfect pass because the Japanese are so quick at closing down spaces in the middle of the pitch. Hashioka, Mitsuki Saito, side by side with him. Koki Saito just in front of him. Decides to go inside to Kubo. The sort of player who always wants to get involved, get some touches in the game. Sugawara. Kubo. That was very good defending. Very good defending from Mustafa. Indra Mustafa. Knew that a left-footed player always wanted it to cut back to his favorite left foot. And he just stood strong there. It's actually Kadik. He was very sure he was not going to attack the byline and use his right. So the formation now pretty clear for Indra Shafri. Protection. Over pouncing and scoring. Playing with three centre-backs with Egi on the bench. In case they need a game changer. Koseitani just been using his legs more than his hands. In fact, he's hardly even used his legs. That's how much they have been attacking. That's a delightful ball that's being played right into the heart of the Indonesian defense. Not the best of touches from Kubo though. Another doozy of a pass from Ito, who is very capable of that. Witan. The ball's played behind, asking Witan to run, but he was never going to get there, the 17-year-old. It's the under-19s, but two 17-year-olds really carry the hopes of these two countries. Kubo from Japan and Witan of Indonesia. Lutfi Kamal, quick enough to release that pass. All important, Indra Mustafa. Now he just took his eye off the ball because he wanted to spot a teammate while it was travelling to him. See a spot of rain coming down now at the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium. The pitch was actually watered before the start of the match, so it's a slippery surface, might just favour the Indonesians. Japanese always looking to use the surface of the pitch for their quick passing movement. Abe asking for support, finally finds it in Kubo. Ball came off the Japanese fourth row to Indonesia. Well, he started the game brightly enough, Takefusa Kubo, and I think the Indonesians have owned him in the last 5 minutes. Very much to the delight of the fans here. Kobayashi, easy header out, but it comes right back with interest. Hannes though losing out to Mitsuki Saito, combining with Koki Saito to free up to Ito, Hiroki Ito. What a goal he scored against North Korea. From almost 35 yards out, just smacked one, rocketed right into the back of the net. Mitsuki Saito inviting Hashioka to come forward. Here is Sugawara. Koki Saito, clever touch, almost releasing Sugawara. He comes back against Sugawara. Another great challenge thrown in by Firza. He's had to work so hard tonight, the left back, Firza Andika. And he's a player who actually loves bombing forward. He's got to be a lot more disciplined against these very quick Japanese players. Koki Saito, Mishiro, Kubo, used Abe as the decoy. Ito finally with the effort at goal. A meek one, easily gathered by Riyandi. So, halfway through the first half, we finally had our first shot on target, and really it wasn't going to trouble the custodian at all. That effort from Ito. Mitsuki Saito. Hiroki Abe. to his namesake Hiroki Ito. Usually the sculptor of these Japanese masterpieces from the middle of the park. Higashi, seen very little of Higashi. It's because the Japanese have concentrated their attacks from the right-hand side instead of the left. And Ito tried the same bombing efforts that he produced against North Korea. So far so good for Indra Shafri. Oh, the Japanese coach Kageyama was asked whether it's going to be the same. It's a 4-1 scoreline, whether it plays in the Indonesians' head. That was a psychological advantage to the Japanese. He says no, that result doesn't count at all, because back then the Indonesians don't have Indra Shafri. He has been the difference, really mentoring these kids. Koki Saito, so very slippery and quick. Well, everyone talks about Kubo and the effect he has on his team, and because of that, Koki Saito is the wild card in this side. And the way he plays, the way he just runs at you at pace, so difficult to track, so difficult to cut down. That low center of gravity and those turns, he will trouble any defense. He has troubled the Indonesians already in the 5 minutes that he's been on. And now the Japanese have got Hashioka, Ito, Kobayashi, Sugawara, those players above 1.84 meters, all inside the penalty box, waiting for a good delivery. Kubo it is, who usually delivers with such precision. It's taken some time, but it's not going to deter this child prodigy. Well, everyone went near. He decided to flick it long. Hannes with a chance for the breakout for Indonesia. He does the next best thing, which is just slow the game down a little bit and win a free kick for Indonesia. Abe was forced to foul, thinking that Hannes was going to break away. So they've done their homework against Japan. And they go up and score against the odds, against the run of play. Kadek, Firza. Firza Andika actually scored 2 goals against Jordan in a friendly. Witan showing quick turn of pace and great trickery on the ball. Let's get past the challenge from Sugawara. He's begging for a corner. It finally comes off him though for a throw to Japan. Games already this season for Nagoya Grampus for Yukinari Sugawara. Scored a goal this year against Vietnam for the under-19s in a friendly match. Header doesn't get very far. Sadil trying to combine with Asnawi. Asnawi will use the whole width of the pitch as he goes forward, looking for the return pass from Sadil. Went for glory. Don't blame him. He does have a rocket of shots from outside of the box, as shown during the SEA Games when he scored against the Philippines. He scored one here against Qatar last Sunday as well. Direct from a free kick from almost that same spot where he took that effort. Koki Saito. Sugawara forced into that clearance. Very good pressing up front by Hannes. breakout is very good. And Dika continues his run. Koki Saito. And as now he wins a free kick in a dangerous position. What can Indonesia do with this? Hope finally. Unnecessary challenge coming in from Mitsuki Saito. Just a little impatient from the captain. And will punishment be meted out here? Tani hasn't been convincing in dealing with those crosses. Well, there'll be questions asked of him as the Japanese play a high line and a zonal marking system against an Indonesian side who might be diminutive, slight in frame, but are very quick with the off-the-ball running movement. And they have a player in Sadul Ramdhani who's got quality all over that left peg of his. Maybe he's going for goal, you never know. It is a floater into the box. And almost the connection at the far post that came in very, very late from Shahiran Abimanyu. Well, it lit up the crowd here at the GBK. Not too far away. Here is Koki Saito. Intelligent ball inside to Miyashiro. Abe Miyashiro. This is Japan at their very best when they're moving off the ball. So hard to track. It's a poor ball played inside to Kubo though. Well, we haven't seen enough of it. It has come at a premium. Small patterns here and there. 2, 3, 4 passes which have caught the eye. But just as quickly the Indonesians close the space down, and that's what they've been doing so well since that 5-6 defeat to Qatar. They have been closing the space superbly well. Almost gave the ball away as we speak them up. Ito, space opening up for Shunki Higashi. Back to Hiroki Ito. Here's the rhythm box. Mitsuki Saito is the energy box, and together they usually make great music for the Japanese. Almost finding a way through. The shot finally comes in. Was that a deflection of Koki Saito off an Indonesian? The referee says it's off a player in red. It's going to be a corner to Japan. Much better for Masanaga. It's just found rhythm so hard to come by in half an hour of this first half. And it's all credit to the Indonesians, breaking them up, breaking the cadence. And their dead ball deliveries haven't been of the highest quality either. Hiroki Abe. Already a lot on his young shoulders playing for Kashima Antlers. So this shouldn't be a problem for him. Kobayashi makes the move. They've gone near post to Hashioka. Found a slight touch. Just escaped everybody and Indonesia clear. No, that certainly was the ball. Kobayashi rent at the referee. He made the move forward and then went to the far post to allow Hashioka a free run at the near post, and he was almost picked by that cross by Abe. It's onside, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, and with the watery surface was always going to favour Japanese number 1 Kosei Tani. Yuki Kobayashi. No space opening up for Ito, who has seen a lot of the ball in this first half. As I said, he is the quarterback. He is the one who gets everything ticking in the middle of the park and stitches everything together. The sculptor of those masterpieces, and that's a brilliant ball finding Miyashiro. Abe is bouncing off him as if his chest was a trampoline. Koki Saito managing to keep it alive. So too Abe. Anywhere would do by the Indonesians. Koki Saito, that's a very clever ball. Spotted Sugawara, the right fullback, in the penalty box, in a good position, so played it first time. But very watchful yet again from Rahmat Irianto, who has led the team in his captain's absence in top-notch fashion. Communication in this heated, loud atmosphere still at its very best from the Indonesian defenders. Here is Kubo getting the ball back from Saito, and having to go all the way back to Hashioka. Ito. That will please Indra Shafri, the Indonesian coach. The fact that the Japanese had to go back, they had to head backwards because there's no movement ahead of them. Those channels have been cut off so very well. Koki Saito combining with Kubo. Koki Saito! That's going to be a free kick just outside the box. Those two delightful left-footed players. One touch, give and go, and he was off. As I said, everybody had their eyes on Kubo coming into this tournament. He was their star player who's gone through the age groups. He's gone through La Masia, so he was a high-profile star. Not many people knew about Koki Saito, but he's taken this tournament by storm, playing a brand of fearless football that you'd expect from a 17-year-old. And in the left foot of this 17-year-old, Japan's hopes of taking the goal lead here. Already a superb free kick struck into the back of the net against North Korea from much further out than this. This is going to be very difficult for him. But remember, he was taken under the wing of Lionel Messi when he was at La Masia, so it shouldn't be a problem for Kubo. Kubo! Side netting. Oh, keeper would have been furious with his ball if that had gone in. So after taking some time to line it up, it collapsed and fell apart. If it had been glued up together, that wall would have repelled that free kick from Kubo. Free kick needlessly given away by Koki Saito. Shove on Ferzan Dika happened before ball had already bounced on the pitch. Remember, if you missed that first quarterfinal, it was a remarkable game. Qatar, free-scoring Qatar, won it in extra time by 7 goals to 3 against Thailand. To think they were 3 minutes away from being eliminated. Now they are going to Poland for the Under-20 World Cup next year. Oh, that's delightful football by the Indonesians. It's got the fans excited now. It's a brilliant passage of play for them until that pass by Lutfi Kamal. Higashi always knew what he was going to do. Used the goalkeeper as a decoy from day one. The moment he got the ball, well won back by the Indonesians, being very combative here. A chance for the shot at goal. They decided for the pass instead, and they've rocked the side netting too, just like the Japanese a minute ago. This time it was Sadil Ramdhani. Came forward, always expecting it. Hannes never had the confidence, despite the fact the Japanese opened the room for him to take a shot at goal and test their goalkeeper. Instead, he found Sadil, who found the side netting. So it's slowly coming to life now. The slow burner in a burning atmosphere. How about that for a touch by Kubo? Wow. If only we could have seen that all over again, because that was just nailed on, killed instantaneously. Not that foul on Miyashiro. That earlier touch from his fellow centre forward was just absolutely divine. It was heavenly. Ito. Another brilliant pass right through the defence, slightly over the bar. Koki Saito, he's been in sparkling form. So he had every right to take this on. That was a brilliant strike. Great technique from him. Cut right across the ball to ensure there was spin on it and a dip at the same time. Just didn't dip enough. So in the last 3 minutes, we've had the nets shaken already on both sides. Just haven't had it bulged yet. Concentration though from Kadik needs to be kept at its highest order. Moments like that get the crowd nervous, and sometimes that nervous energy cascades to the players. And these, remember, are under 19 players. That's the last thing they need. One of the easier decisions for the referee to call. Witan Sulaiman hauled down by Sugawara. He is so hard to track, the number 8. Brings not just the energy and the industry, but nows that is so deceptive when he's on the ball. I think nothing's going to happen. Slight in frame, very fragile, and all of a sudden, quick burst in pace. Quick acceleration. He finds his way through. Really very much a brilliant football brain. Quickness in between the ears ahead of quickness on the feet. Sugawara. Clever ball down the line, and it's good strength by Koki Saito. He's got to do it all by himself though. Kubo was short, but there was cover. There were 3 at the back closing down on Koki. Sugawara. Back to Koki Saito. Ito. Space opening up for Higashi. Higashi! Top corner, top player. Japan 1-0 up. That came from nowhere. And it's been keeping in pattern with the kind of goals that Japan have scored throughout this tournament. Long range, spectacular. Another worldie, this time coming from their left fullback. Picked that one out. Goalkeeper couldn't do anything about it. And the young samurais might just have put to the Indonesians to the sword with that strike. Even the coach was delighted with the quality of that strike. Well, we all know that about Japan, don't we? Coming into this game, they've got goal scorers everywhere. Higashi, by the way, the 9th Japanese player to score in this competition. There was nothing on when he got the ball. The Indonesians had marked out everybody inside the penalty box. Defense had done its job. That's despite the fact that you have all the defensive nows, all the discipline in the world, how compact and organized you have been, you can't account for a quality strike like that. And that's what happens when you play against these Japanese. Quality will just be summoned, and it'll happen somewhere, from out of nowhere. Kubo, still Kubo, happy to take the free kick. And when they score, it usually comes in batches, so the Indonesians have to watch here that they don't get too far behind by the time they get into the dressing rooms. Only 1-0 up, still in it. Halftime team talk by their mentor and their coach. And the Indonesian players have shown already a couple of times throughout this tournament, throughout their journey in this tournament, that they never know the word give up. They will not succumb to anything, so we know that they'll fight back from this. But they don't want any Japanese to get too far ahead and too far away from them. They still have to be within sight, so defending has to be at its stoutest from this free kick by Hiroki Abe. Players have escaped the crutches, so it's almost a one-on-one situation. Kubo with that effort. I think it came off Japanese, did it? No. In Indonesia, it's going to be a corner to Japan. Stepping up and exerting the pressure now. Masanaga's charges. coming forward at will. That freedom to express themselves given by their coach. Their players trying to take full advantage of it. Kubo with the latest corner, yet again goes to the far post. Kadek it was. Last touch the ball, anywhere would do for the defender. Who knows? Egi Maulana might just be summoned in the second 45 minutes. They introduced Rivaldo very early in the second half of that game against UAE. In fact, at the start of the second half, he usually comes on midway through the half. That's another option from the bench. The Japanese, though, trying to get further ahead. It's not the best corner. It came in from Abe. This will be cleared first time by the goal scorer Higashi. Abe, upper body strength, put to the core, and another free kick needlessly given away. It was almost going nowhere, and Asnawi Baha should have known much better than to just fling it across and jump onto his man and pull him down just like that. He had help, Sadil was beside him. Use that to right winger of yours to steal the ball away from Abe. And after a couple of disappointing deliveries, Kubo says, let me take this. He is so deft with the left. And this is a perfect position for a left peg to actually drill it in between the goalkeeper and defenders. Hashioka, the only one inside the penalty box. It goes far, too close to the goalkeeper. A throw out was a very good one. Finds Hannes. Witan just slightly ahead. Berza continues the run, almost stealing the ball away from Mitsuki Saito. Has just that bit more experience, the Shonan Belmare player, to ensure he keeps the ball, take any sort of contact and go down. Will there be a final flourish to this half from the Japanese? Or will the Indonesians hold on and keep themselves in the game for a fresh second 45? Just that added minute to do so. Takefusa Kubo. Sugawara. No free kick. Sugawara's abandoned his right back position. Can they take advantage of it? Hannes has done superbly well just to hold the ball up, and that is a very clever touch as well from Shahiran. Witan now. Are the Indonesians going to stage a comeback against a run of play? Witan. Hashioka just managing to tow the ball away, but it's going to be the first corner of the night for Indonesia against a Japanese side who have not looked comfortable defending set pieces in this tournament. Surely he's going to fling this in. I know there are not a lot of players showing interest coming forward. They're slowly trooping up inside the penalty box now. Witan's going to fling this in, surely. No, he's taking it short. Sadil looking for the angle for the cross, and that corner is wasted because it's the last piece of action in the first 45 minutes. Half which has been one-way traffic. We expected that. The Indonesians have done pretty well nullifying the Japanese attack until 5 minutes before the break, when that boy Shunki Higashi took the ball. Koji Nakata and Ogasawara were in that squad. And a lot of people back home feel that the class of 2018 is just as good, if not even better. And that band of guys, Indonesians will have a different say to it. Indra Mustafa down the line. It's always going to be difficult to find anyone up front. They only have two real runners in Hannes and Witan. A lot of it's been done defensively, trying to keep themselves very tight at the back to ensure that the Japanese, who are so good at playing down the lines with their off ball running, those channels have been closed, those gaps have been plugged, that's for sure. Nabe couldn't get the better. Saito comes in with an old decisive challenge. Rahman Irianto clears it first time. Hasn't had the best 2018. Rahman spends most of this year out injured. It's come back at such an important time. And that's a decisive touch once again from the captain to get the ball away from Kubo. Hashioka, first time pass, and it's a very good one. Mitsuki Saito trying to dink it into space and needed the most delightful and subtle of deliveries in order to find Abe, who was sandwiched out of it. Witan tried to get past one, but not the other. Tackles flying in at the start of the second half. Nothing malicious, just a pitch being as wet as it is sometimes. That's what happens. Just a little late with those tackles coming in. Slipping, sliding all over. Kubo took a hefty knock from Ferzan Dika, who has done a very good job on the number 9. He now picks himself up. This surely will be too far even for the quality and the explosion that he has. Fizdin, Italy cleared once again. Kadek it was, got head to the ball. Itachi right back into the mix, but a little too long. And Oriandi picks that one out easily. The youngest ever recruited to the Indonesian top league goalkeeper Muhammad Riyandi could do nothing with that strike from Itachi. That was really from planet extraordinary. Sadil just pulled out of the challenge last minute, and thankfully he did as well, because that was really full-blooded and bloodthirsty. The one which came in, Koki Saito, wonderful balance yet again, great maneuvering skills, and uses the outside. Suganawa, goalkeeper's committed himself and made himself huge, and it was a good decision from Riyandi to come out to prevent the cross from coming in from Sugawara. Was completely wasted. Kubo comes shot short. Saito just inside the box, but he is so diminutive, it's going to be so hard to find him in the face of two Indonesian defenders closing down on him so very tightly. Witan still battling away. Sugawara competing away as Kubo hasn't stopped running. Mitsuki Saito. Sugawara back to Saito. Here is Kubo. Kubo. It's overran it. With a good jump in midfield. Free takes as a referee. Saito wasn't too happy with it. Looks like a fair challenge. He did push Witan off the ball. He's got a bright future, hasn't he, the Indonesian number 8. I was saying with Egy Maulana moving on overseas, playing in Poland. Witan should be there as well, except he hasn't finished high school yet. Corner Indonesia. Well, they went short with their final corner of the first half. Now they've won the first corner of the second half. Are they going to fling it and hoist it right inside the penalty box, or are they going short again? Indra Mustafa has gone right in. Witan's given the all clear and then decides to go short. Space might be opening up for the shot. The Japanese very, very cautious of their challenges, and it finally comes in from Lutfi. He's already got one in this competition, but it did come from the set piece and the dead ball. This one came at him with pace. It was always very hard to control with the charging Blues right in front of you. Miyashiro's arm was right on the shoulder of his opponent. Called straight away for that free kick. Taisei Miyashiro of Kawasaki Frontale scored 2 at the Under-17 World Cup last year. Miyashiro came against France and Honduras. Dika took the chance, almost lost it. Clearance had to be made very quickly. Rahmat, a very late call that a player was on, and this one speared and it eviscerated right through the heart of the Japanese defense. Hannes has done well to keep hold of the ball. Still Hannes. Well, there was Sadil on the outside. Instead of using Sadil, decided to go for goal himself. Danger averted momentarily. Asnawi, here is Sadil. Magnificent footwork by Sadil. Still Sadil. Fell over. Lutfi. Brave challenge. Very brave challenge coming in from Ito. But the Indonesians have upped to their game. They've amped up a level now, and they're finding a way through the heart of this Japanese defense. The driving rain, driving the Garudas forward. Sadil taking everything on his shoulders and taking the responsibility of the neat passing movement of the Japanese. Have gotten them out of that tight situation. No one on his right, so he decides to go left. And that wasn't the best of passes to Kubo from Saito. There's Sadil, who has started the second half very brightly, as if to say, I take all accountability from here on. I'm going to haul the squad, the rest of my players, right back into this fixture. Hannes beaten to it by Hashioka. Was still kept by the Indonesians. Jahiran. Asnawi, the right fullback, finding himself almost in central midfield, trying to orchestrate. No nonsense from him. It is a clever enough ball. Hiroki Abe. Oh, what a challenge that one was by Asnawi. Had to be pinpoint as well. You could see what he was trying to do. Fake the clearance and then run around Abe, which he did a couple of times in the first half. Not the best of touches from him though. Miyashiro prevented from taking the shots with Kubo's presence just ahead of him, and finally loses the ball yet again on the counter-attack. Indonesia cleared by Hashioka. Tani doesn't come off his line, so Hashioka will do the needful. 10 minutes played in the second half. Another very good touch, sublime from Kubo. Abe on the outside, and that's a pretty ball. It's played in between the two defenders for Abe, who wins the free kick from Asnawi. Took a chance with that sliding challenge, and he will be booked for that. He actually got a bit of the ball. I think he was pretty unlucky there as Naui. Abe was waiting for it. He was always cognizant of the challenge coming in from Asnawi. He waited until the leg was flicked and he stood in the way. It's a downpour. It's a nightmare for goalkeepers. He's driving rain. Maybe it might be the cue for Indonesia to take more shots at goal. First though, defending this imperative. Abe stepped away from it. Miyashiro has that Koki Saito. Remember, 3 goals already in the competition from him. Getting the signal from the captain. And Kobayashi, the centre-back. It is Saito. Drills it low. Escapes everyone. Hashioka. Riandi was well positioned. Driven right back. It went through a sea of players and out safely. Great work by Mohamed Riandi. Right place, right time. It was a very clever free kick. I think everybody expected either a shot or the ball to go high up in the air. Instead, he went right through the heart of the defense with that low stinger. Sadil almost finding Hannes. Tani panicked. Indonesia have the ball. Sadil Ramdhani. Still Sadil Ramdhani. Usually finishes much better than that, but it was put on his preferred foot. So well poised in the pressure cooker of GBK. Ashioka, such an important interception, hooked away. Koki Saito down the line for Miyashiro. Kubo side by side with him, uses Kubo and loses the ball way too easily. Takefusa Kubo. Ito stepped in with the right challenge ahead of Lutfi Kamal. Wasn't a teammate ahead of him. There's more to prevent the latest Indonesian attack. The puddles appearing now on the pitch, which might be pretty bothersome for some of the players, especially for the Japanese, who love to play their football on the ground. It's going to be a free kick for Indonesia, right in front of the referee's nose. Good decision from the Iranian official, Shahiran Abimanyu. Took the opportunity to try to steal the ball away from Hashioka, and happy to take any sort of a holdback by the Urawa Reds defender. Close to the hour mark. Is there going to be and one fling and one moment of magic and inspiration from someone on the pitch to give Indra Shafri hope? Just a 1-goal deficit. 2 players in the penalty box. A good cross is needed though. It is kept in play. A little too deep. Higashi, the goal scorer, protecting his goal with all the jealousy in the world, just clearing that ball long, but right back come the Indonesians. They've made a real game out of this in the Indonesians. Credit to them. They haven't caved in the second half. They haven't just sat around and applauded the amazing football abilities and passing abilities of the Japanese. They've made life very difficult for them, and if anything, they've probably dominated the second half. This is Witan. Sadil on the outside, uses him, just harness inside the penalty box. Sadil takes on Higashi. Sadil in the box. Oh, there was cover, enough cover, and Ito wasn't happy with his compatriots for closing down and falling asleep while Sadil just danced around them as if they weren't even there. They're getting the crowd involved in this, and why not? The crowd know that the players have shown a total lack of respect and fear against the Japanese. Fearless in the second half. Everyone feared the worst when Japan took the lead 6 minutes before halftime. Everyone except the 11 on the pitch for Indonesia. Back they come. Verza, combative, strong in the challenge. So too Hashioka, who lashes that one away. Great spell this for Indonesia. Let's see if they have an end product to show from it. The Japanese picked back. Indra. Easy for Kobayashi. Asked to clear it now. Wonderful touch by Kubo to find Abe. Equally brilliant pass to Saito. A little too strong in the challenge against Shahiran. His knee went in awkward directions then. It's already a heavily strapped leg. Came into this tournament, the Shonan Bellmare player, carrying a slight injury, and that's the reason why he hasn't featured in a lot of games. Only the one so far was against Thailand, where they won by 3-1. He's getting confirmation, Masunaga, that his captain will be okay to continue. He is preparing a substitution on the bench. It's already made one, an enforced one. Fujimoto giving way to Saito very early in the first half. The last thing he wants is to lose players to injury. And that's when the coach will turn around and tell you that that's the reason why he's played all of them already, to give them minutes in this competition. It helps that they went into the match against Iraq, the final game of Group B, knowing that the quarterfinal spot and top spot have been assured for him to play as reserves. I think Yosuke Tagawa is getting prepared to come on for Japan. He was their top scorer in qualifiers. Just recently, as he replaces Abe, Tagawa scored goals in friendly matches against Mexico and Brazil, but he hasn't lit up this tournament yet, the Sagan Toss player. Still dancing along. Final ball letting him down in the end. Here comes the mesmerizing Sadil. Oh, brilliant pass right through the heart of the defense. Decided to take it first time instead of around the goalkeeper. Maybe that bit of unpredictability from a very unpredictable Witan to surprise the custodian. Tani, though, stayed strong, stayed rooted. But what a pass that one was by Sadil, who has been a real star in the second half. Everything fertile, productive from Indonesia has come from him down this right-hand side. Chased down illegally by Miyashiro, who's endured a frustrating night. He thought he had that opportunity to add to the 3 he's already gotten in this competition, but instead the Indonesians have closed him down and policed him. The Japanese second to most challenges in the second half. Anyway, would do from Ito. Kubo, who was asked to play in a more flanked up role with the introduction of Tagawa, who's gone right up front, side by side with Miyashiro. There's Tagawa, gets put on the ball, wanted the free kick, but the referee says play on because he had lost control of the ball. Good decision from the referee. Sadil invites Asnawi to come forward. Asnawi driving right through the heart of the Japanese defense. Still Asnawi, free kick. Indonesia in a very promising position. Marvelous run from right full-back by Asnawi Baha. Kobayashi, in the end, tried to nick the ball, but instead found a yellow card. And Japan might find themselves on level pegging again if the Indonesians take full advantage of this. Lutfi Kamal has already scored from a free kick in this tournament against Qatar. So too Sadil. And at the rate this has been going in the second half, Sadil might be favoured to take this free kick. Egi watches. What a moment for him. The World Cup, Under-20 World Cup, if Indonesia get there, will be played in Poland, where he plays his football. It will be Sadil Ramdhani. Oh, brilliant save by Tani. High fives coming along from the defense. And a goalkeeper who hasn't looked convincing at all in this competition pulls out a quite stupendous stop just when they needed him most. But they're working the gloves of Kosei Tani, who played at the Under-17 World Cup last year and was the only goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet against eventual winners England. Mitsuki Saito down the line for Tagawa. He's got strides, he's got legs, he's got pace. Tagawa tried to fit the ball nicely in between the defense for Miyashiro. Ratmati Irianto took the full force of the challenge from his goalkeeper. Still down injured, no, he's up again, Irianto. Well, they're irritating the Japanese. They are. Miyashiro on the breakaway. Tagawa's found some space behind the defense. Tagawa, first touch was good, came back into a sea of challenges. Still Tagawa, Miyashiro. There were enough numbers at the back in the end. Higashi tried another shot from long range, almost similar distance to where he scored the only goal of the game. And Indonesia come forward now, trying their own breakout of their own. It's feverish at the moment to the pace that this game is being played at. Miyoshi, Kubo continues his run. Still Kubo. Oh well, after all the static that's gone on the screen, due to the downpour that's happening at the GBK Stadium, Japan have scored. Yet again, it came from the smarts.
Gagal tadi Priza untuk menyeberangkan bola. Serangan balik dari Jepang kembali. Ini Indonesia masuk Kuasai bola, ada Sadil Ramdhani. Masih Sadil, meliuk-liuk Sadil. Masih Sadil. Kuasai bola dengan sangat sempurna Sadil Ramdhani. Hanya tidak melihat rekan Sadil Ramdhani siapa yang bisa diberikan. Lutfi Kamal dan Hadi Sagara. Masih Hadi Sagara. Tekanan pada Asnawi. Kuasai bola Asnawi, cantik sekali Asnawi. Masih Asnawi. Asnawi di kotak penalti. Asnawi dan Witan. Gagal tadi. Lutfi Kamal. Masih Lutfi. Meskipun masih meringis kesakitan Witan Sulaiman, namun tetap berusaha bangkit. Luar biasa para pemain Indonesia. Firza Andika. Ke tengah ada Lutfi Kamal. Ke belakang ada Rahmat Irianto. Pendek saja kepada Indra Mustafa. Asnawi keluar lapangan pertandingan. Bola dibuang menurut asisten wasit satu oleh Witan. Nampaknya ada pergantian pemain, yaitu Rivaldo Tosfere masuk.
Ya, menarik satu pemain center back ya, kadek ya, dengan memasukkan Todd Rivaldo Ferry. Saya pikir Todd Indra Syafri ingin mencoba keluar dan menyerang demi untuk memperkecil ketertinggalan.
Berarti polanya berubah menjadi 4-3-3, Bung Supri.
Iya.
Menempatkan Todd Ferry berada di kanan. Area penyerangan dari Indonesia. Tinggal 0-2 Indonesia dari Jepang. Bola kini dihadapi oleh Higashi Sungki. Nampaknya tadi dinilai sebuah pelanggaran oleh wasit Mod Bunyadifat dari Iran. Namun oleh Higashi Sungki. Back kiri dari Jepang. Yang lebih banyak kini dikuasai para pemain Indonesia. Rivaldo Tosfere. Dibuang kembali oleh Kobayashi keluar lapangan pertandingan. Lempar ke dalam buat Indonesia. Nampaknya Jepang melakukan pressure sejak di area pertahanan Indonesia, Bung Supri.
Betul. Dan sesekali jelas ya, konsep mereka rubah dengan direct play. Kemudian mereka mengandalkan tetap dengan dua flank mereka. Ini yang perlu diantisipasi ketika para pemain kita kehilangan bola dan mereka melakukan serangan balik dengan cepat.
Semoga saja ada keajaiban kembali yang terjadi seperti saat melawan Qatar, mana dalam waktu 40 menit Indonesia mampu menciptakan 5 gol untuk memperkecil ketinggalan saat itu saat melawan Qatar pada tanggal 21 Oktober. Dimana pelanggaran yang dilakukan oleh Sahrian tadi. Hujan terus mengguyur Stadion Gelora Bung Karno. Meskipun demikian tidak terlalu banyak genangan yang ada di rumput Stadion Gelora Bung Karno ini, Bung Supri.
Betul, bola masih mengalir dengan sangat baik ya.
Buang tadi oleh Rivaldo, depan langsung tidak ada Hadi Sagara. Kasih Sungki bisa langsung umpan ke depan. Bisa dihadang oleh Asnawi. Keluar lapangan pertandingan kembali bola. Lempar ke dalam kembali buat Jepang. Sudah 76 menit pertandingan berlangsung. Indonesia masih tinggal 2-0 dari juara bertahan Piala Asia di bawah usia 19 tahun ini. Jangan gawang saja menurut wasit mengalun lunak nampaknya, Bung Supri.
Iya, kembali lagi variasi serangan 1-2 sentuhan sudah terlihat ya. Tinggal kualitas kemampuan shooting dari Todd Rivaldo Ferry yang masih begitu lemah.
Pelanggaran dilakukan oleh Firza. Ada Kubo. Lihat wasit Bunyadifat dari Iran tadi memang posisinya tidak terlalu jauh Hujan masih terus mengguyur sangat lebat ke Stadion Gelora Bung Karno. Kubo berusaha dia melewati hadangan Firza, buang kembali tadi kapten kesebelasan Rahmat Irianto, lemparan ke dalam buat Jepang. Masih Takefuso Kubo, langsung kotak penalti. Hampir saja tadi punggung 11 Gawa tadi bisa menciptakan gol. Tidak ada mengawal sama sekali, Bung.
Betul, selalu lihat bola kita lihat. Tidak ada mengawal ataupun lihat pergerakan pemain nomor 11 ini. Ya, ini perlu diwaspadai ya, pergerakan-pergerakan tanpa bola pemain dari Jepang. Dua center back kita perlu fokus, perlu konsentrasi. Awareness mereka, body shape mereka harus tahu bahwa mereka selalu masuk dari second line.
Rian Abimanyu berjibaku. Pelanggaran nampaknya dilakukan terhadap pemain Jepang, tendangan bebas. Nampaknya Sahrian Abimanyu melakukan pelanggaran terhadap kapten kesebelasan atau nomor punggung 7 Bung Supri.
Iya. Ya, kembali lagi bahwa situasi dengan bola licin ya, ataupun situasi dengan kondisi hujan, memang ketika kontrol dribblingnya tidak begitu akurat memang akan berpotensi untuk terjadi pelanggaran.
Dalam kembali buat Jepang, banyak dilakukan oleh Yukinari Sugiwara. Kubo Sukinari sangat berbahaya di kotak penalti, sangat bebas dan beruntung masih keluar tadi. Nampaknya sudah keluar lapangan pertandingan. Agak sulit untuk melihat pergerakan yang dilakukan karena memang hujan sangat lebat, Bung Supri.
Iya. Dan perlu diantisipasi ya. Kubo selalu berani masuk, Kubo berani melakukan penetrasi walaupun dari sudut sempit. Kita lihat dia berani untuk melakukan shooting dan melakukan chipping.
Dan penjuru kembali buat Jepang, lakukan oleh Kubo. Main termuda Jepang di turnamen ini, langsung di kotak penalti. Ada Tagawa, dibuang kembali oleh Rahmat Irianto. Datang lagi serangan dari Jepang. Ada Kubo, ada Toki, shooting langsung kan. Beruntung hanya menyambi sangat bebas pergerakan para pemain Jepang di area yang sangat-sangat terlarang di kotak penalti Indonesia ini.
Iya, khawatir para pemain kita semua terlalu fokus ke nomor 9, Rizky Kubo, tapi tidak melihat pergerakan pemain-pemain yang muncul dari second line.
Asnawi Mangkualam umpan jauh ke depan, arahkan kepada Sagara. Ada Witan Sulaiman, Witan kuasai bola. Kiri kepada Firza Andika, masih Firza.
Kita lihat.
Gagal Firza, direbut tadi oleh Kubo. Datang lagi bantuan yang diberikan oleh Indra Mustafa. Firza Andika, Rivaldo, Witan Sulaiman, masih Witan. Ada Asnawi, masih Asnawi. Witan Sulaiman lagi, masih Witan. Gagal tadi Witan untuk menguasai bola. Takawa, Taisei Miyasaro. Ini serangan balik yang dilakukan Jepang. Akan kesebelasan Saito Matsuki tadi. Taisei Miyashiro. Taisei lagi ke kanan kepada Yukinari. Taisei sangat berbahaya di kotak penalti. Taisei shooting kanan. Beruntung tadi hanya menyamping di keadaan gawang Riyandi.
Iya, berani mencoba untuk melakukan shooting, melakukan pressing. Ini yang dilakukan oleh para pemain Jepang ya ketika sudah masuk di sepertiga pertahanan kita. Hilang momentum yang dilakukan oleh Witan membuat para pemain dari Jepang mampu untuk melakukan serangan balik dengan cepat.
Sadil Ramdhani, masih Sadil, berusaha dia meliuk-liuk melewati kawalan para pemain Jepang. Koki Saito tadi menggagal. Rocky Ito nomor punggung 7, Gashi Sunki rebut kembali oleh Koki. Balik ke Jepang lewat Koki ke kiri kepada Takawa. Kotak final sangat berbahaya, keluar dari sarangnya, potong bola tadi begitu gawang Riyandi.
Menjaga permainan yang membaca permainan yang sangat baik ya, yang dilakukan oleh Muhammad Riyandi, mampu memblok ataupun menangkap antisipasi bola crossing yang dilakukan oleh para pemain Jepang.
Pelanggaran jelas, kartu kuning buat Hiroki Ito. Atas satu Jubilo Iwata tadi melakukan pelanggaran terhadap Asnawi yang berusaha merangsek ke dalam. Kartu kuning buat Hiroki Ito.
Dia terlambat dalam melakukan tackling dan menginjak kaki dari Asnawi Mangku Alam.
Tendangan bebas Indonesia, Lutfi pada Asnawi ke tengah. Rivaldo tadi ke belakang. Akan kesebelasan Rahmat Irianto, ada Indra Mustafa. Langsung umpan ke depan, arahkan kepada Sagara. Bisa dikejar oleh Sagara, berbeda Kobayashi. Nampaknya offside tadi. Sayang pemirsa, ini Sagara terjebak dalam posisi offside tadi. Jelas Bung, sangat offside.
Betul. Ya, di satu sisi para pemain kita terjebak dalam posisi offside, tapi sisi lain sangat sulit ya dengan situasi hujan, kemudian juga aliran bola yang tidak bagus ketika pemain kita meminta di bola-bola daerah.
Tapi yang harus dipuji, harus dihargai adalah bagaimana rumput di Stadion Gelora Bung Karno tidak tergenang air, Bung.
Betul.
Ini sebuah Indonesia yang sangat-sangat luar biasa telah melakukan renovasi dari Stadion Gelora Bung Karno ini. Nah, serangan kembali dari Yukinari, ada Kubo, masih Kubo, angkat kotak penalti. Jauh dari sasaran dari nomor punggung 18 Koki Saito. Dia dikuasai oleh Asnawi. Oh, bola Asnawi dari bawah. Langsung umpan ke tengah pada Rivaldo. Gagal tadi Rivaldo untuk mendapatkan bola. Kembali tekanan dari Jepang. Ada Hiroki Ito dan kiri. Ada Koki Saito, masih Koki. Umpan ke tengah, ada Kubo. Pelanggaran dilakukan Rivaldo terhadap Kubo. Kali Kubo benar-benar pemain yang sangat sering dilanggar di pertandingan ini, Bung Supri.
Iya, tidak hanya di sisi sebelah kiri ataupun kanan, dia sesekali merasa ke dalam, dan inilah dia mencoba untuk menguasai bola dan Todd Ferry melakukan pelanggaran. Situasi yang sulit, situasi yang sangat berbahaya untuk lini pertahanan kita.
5 menit lagi pertandingan akan segera berakhir di waktu normal. Kini memasuki menit ke 86. Masih 2-0 Jepang unggul atas Indonesia. Karena gol dari Jepang diciptakan oleh Higashi Sunki dan juga Koki Saito. Maksudnya Taisei Miyashiro. Nampaknya Miyashiro kini menguasai atau menghadapi bola. Kubo lakukan sudah sangat berbahaya. Tinggi datangnya tadi hingga layang di atas mister gawang penjaga gawang Muhammad Riyandi. Inilah Kubo yang melakukan tendangan bebas sangat jauh dari sasaran, Bung Supri.
Iya, tidak begitu akurat ya. Dia mencoba pressing tapi masih jauh dari penjaga gawang Muhammad Riyandi.
Ini bola ya Indonesia dari bawah. Kapten kesebelasan Rahmat Irianto. Masih bola Rahmat Irianto. Dan Indra Mustafa ke kiri, tempati oleh Firza Andika. Masih Firza. Umpan jauh dari sasaran tadi Sagara. Luar lapangan pertandingan, lempar ke dalam buat Indonesia. Hadi Sagara gagal tadi untuk memberikan umpan matang kepada Sahrian Abimanyu. Nampaknya pelatih Indra Safri telah mempersiapkan Rafli Mursalim untuk masuk ke lapangan. Belum ada informasi siapa yang akan digantikan oleh Rafli Mursalim. Nampaknya Indra Safri berusaha menambah kekuatan striker ataukah harus mengganti Hani Sagara, Bung Supri?
Ya, saya pikir perlu penyegaran di situ ya, karena beberapa kali jelas perlu yang mampu menahan bola menjadi tembok untuk bisa mensuplai Todd Ferry, Witan ataupun Sadil.
Sadir Ramdhani kepada Witan Sulaiman. Witan keluar lapangan pertandingan tadi. Bola yang dikuasai oleh Witan, sungguh sayang.
Ya, selalu hilang momentum ya ketika sudah masuk di area pertahanan dari Jepang. Witan selalu kehilangan bola.
Nampaknya Adi Sagara yang akan digantikan oleh Rafli Mursalim, Bung Supri.
Ya, ini adalah penyegaran ya. Jelas bahwa tipikal kedua pemain ini berbeda. Adi Sagara memiliki mobilitas. Untuk Rafli Mursalim diharapkan mampu menjadi tembok atau target man.
Rafli Mursalim masuk tadi menggantikan Adi Sagara. Rafli Mursalim kepada Sadir Ramdhani, meliuk-liuk, menari-nari Sadir Ramdhani. Hampir saja dicuri tadi oleh kapten kesebelasan Saiko Mitsuki. Tendangan bebas Indonesia. Jelas bagaimana Sadil berusaha menguasai bola, mempertahankan bola, tadi dilanggar oleh kapten kesebelasan Saiko Mitsuki. Sahrian Abimanyu, Witan Sulaiman, Rivaldo Tofere, Rivaldo pada Sadir Ramdhani, Rivaldo lagi. Pelanggaran jelas dilakukan terhadap Rivaldo Tofere oleh kapten kesebelasan Saito Mitsuki.
Ya, jelas pelanggaran ya. Upaya Tofere menguasai bola, ingin melewati pemain kapten kesebelasan dari Jepang Saito Mitsuki, harus dilanggar, dan ini adalah peluang untuk Indonesia. Mudah-mudahan mampu untuk memaksimalkan sebuah peluang dan memperkecil ketertinggalan.
Enam pemain Indonesia kini berada di kotak penalti dari Jepang untuk berusaha menyambut tendangan bebas yang akan mungkin dilakukan oleh Sadir Ramdhani, dan juga ada di situ terlihat Asnawi Mangku Alam. Semoga saja Sadir Ramdhani mampu memaksimalkan tendangan bebas ini untuk bisa menciptakan gol sekaligus untuk bisa memperkecil ketertinggalan. Mundur 2-3 langkah ke belakang Sadir Ramdhani, ancang-ancang lakukan sudah, dan bukan handsball tadi karena memang posisi pemain Jepang dalam posisi melakukan pagar hidup. Sadir Ramdhani pendek saja kepada Rivaldo. Asnawi tadi maksudnya dibuang tadi oleh Koki Saito, lempar ke dalam, belum keluar lapangan pertandingan, dikejar saja oleh kapten kesebelasan Rahmat Irianto kepada Indra Mustafa. Masih Indra melebar jauh ke kiri, ada Firza Andika, ada Sahrian Abimanyu, dibangi oleh kapten kesebelasan. Masih cepat kita lihat Witan Sulaiman masih di kotak penalti, dan kita lihat Witan Sulaiman, dan gagal tadi memberikan umpan matang Witan Sulaiman. Akhirnya kita ada Asnawi, ada kita Sadir Ramdhani, masih Sadir meliuk-liuk, Sadir melewati Taisei, masih Sadir Ramdhani, syuting diblok oleh Saito. Kini datang lagi dari kita lihat Firza Andika, masih Firza Andika, Witan Sulaiman. Bukan sebuah pelanggaran, ternyata dibiarkan oleh Saudi wasit punya Ivan dari Iran. Kembali tekanan dilakukan para pemain Indonesia. Rahmat Irianto kepada Lutfi Kamal, masih Lutfi Kamal ke kiri, ada Indra Mustafa mencari rekan Indra Mustafa ke kiri kepada Sahrian, ke belakang pada Indra lagi, kapten kesebelasan Rahmat Irianto, ke belakang Rahmat Irianto kepada Riyandi, Indra Mustafa, Sahrian Abimanyu, Rivaldo Tofere gagal memberikan umpan matang tadi. Serangan balik dari Jepang lewat Taisei sangat berbahaya. Ada Tagawa berbahaya di kotak penalti, dan beruntung hanya menyamping di sisi kiri gawang Indonesia. Ini kalau Riyandi nampaknya Kubo digantikan oleh nomor punggung 15. Ini hanya untuk menghabiskan waktu saja namanya, Bung Supri.
Betul, killing time ya. Apalagi situasi memang sudah berada dalam menit injury time situ.
Nomor punggung 15 adalah Ayumu Seko. Ayumu Seko masuk menggantikan Takefusa Kubo. Asnawi kini Rivaldo Tofere pada Witan Sulaiman, gagal memberikan umpan matang tadi. Rivaldo, kini Sadil Ramdhani. Masih Sadil. Rafli Mursalim gagal untuk mempertahankan bola. Rafli, kini serangan balik dari Taisei. Masih Taisei, sangat cepat Taisei. Masih Taisei, berusaha melewati Rahmat Irianto di kotak penalti. Ada Yukinari, angkat ke kotak penalti. Tidak ada rekan, jelas. Dikejar para pemain Indonesia, ada Asnawi Mangkualam. Masih Asnawi dan pemirsa wasit Mod Mujadifat baru saja meniup peluit panjang tanda berakhirnya pertandingan Indonesia melawan Jepang pada perempat final Piala Asia di bawah usia 19 tahun. Dan skor 2-0 buat Jepang tetap tidak berubah hingga menit terakhir di babak kedua ini. Pemirsa, kami kembali ke studio, tentu saja di Kebun Jeruk, Jakarta. Selamat malam dan salam olahraga.